Guys, what's going on? Angela Montanez here. So I wanted to come to you guys today really quick, and I'm standing up because I have a little bit of time, and let me check my phone real quick. I have more than I have a little bit of time, and it's gotten smaller now. But I wanted to come to you guys today, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about being active, being passive, and being hungry. And those are the three things that I wanted to address. And I wanted to ask you guys today, how hungry are you? You know, I was talking to a friend this morning. Shout out Alicia. I was talking to a friend this morning, and we were talking about finances. And it's so crazy because I have so many of these conversations coming up with different people surrounding finances. And when the autumn time comes, when, you know, we're in this harvest time, for a lot of people it's harvest time, for a lot of people it's just kind of that falling away time. You know, it's that time where old notions are being shed. It's that time where their old selves are being shed. It's that time when all the things that you've prayed for, all the things that you really wanted in your life, all of those things that you were really anxious for, and you were like, I really want this, God, please let me have this. This is what I really want for my life. All of those things that you really wanted are things that are actually starting to come to pass. And when I say that they're coming to pass, you probably won't see manifestations right away, but you thought that you were on solid ground, and you were actually on very cracked ground. And it was so cracked to the point where it's like you were praying for all these things, and you want something new, and you want some really great stuff to happen in your life, but the ground that you were on was not solid. And so what ends up happening, especially during this time that's harvest time for some people, but it's not harvest time for you. Essentially what it is, it's a time where old notions are being shed, things are being destroyed. I had a boyfriend at one time that used to say, in order to build and rebuild, you must first destroy. And so you're going through this process where things are collapsing around you, things are just coming down around you, they're being destroyed, they're falling away, and you're trying to hold on to them. Like, you're trying to hold on to them, and you're so desperate to keep these things that were comfortable for you, that were in your comfort zone, that were normal. You're trying to hold on to these things, and those are things that you don't need to hold on to, because keeping them in your life is really just going to keep the stagnant energy, the stagnant flow, the things that you want to change. Though the changes that you want in your life, and the things that you want to happen in your life, can't come in your life when you still have that cracked ground, when you still have that instability, when you still have all those old things that you're trying to keep in your life. You know, so in order to build and rebuild, you must first destroy, right? But you have to ask yourself, how hungry am I? Do I really want this? Especially in the digital space, in the digital sphere, when you really need money, when you really want something to happen and to pop off, you start looking toward passive income, right? I did it. So many people do it. You set up courses, you do XYZ. You start thinking about the passive route, so you won't have to just go hard, especially if you're someone like me who has a chronic illness, and you only have so much time before you start to feel absolutely exhausted. If you are somebody that is an introvert and you get drained very easily, this is another sphere where you'll, another platform, different platforms where you'll feel like, hey, I need to be in this digital sphere. I need to make some money. I need to be passive. Maybe your health is not on point, and you're just trying to figure out how to really just bring up your income, right? Here's the thing. Here is the thing about this, the mystery behind this whole money thing, behind this whole health thing, because this applies to health journeys. This applies to your entire life, right? So what you need to understand is, before you can actively, and pay attention to this word, actively, activity, before you can make anything, any type of passive thing active, it has to be active, right? So before you can decide, I'm going to start making a passive income. I'm going to throw out a course. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to passively create income. Guess what, people? You have to actively create that. You have to actively create a following. You have to actively create awareness. You have to actively connect with people. There's no way around getting out and meeting people. There's no way around face to face. There's no way around creating. If you are creating a brand for yourself, if you are creating a brand, building a brand, strategizing for any other company, there's no way around connecting with people. That is not going to happen. All of these platforms, these media platforms, digital sphere, news, everything is created to connect with people on a deeper level, to connect with people's lives, to connect with how people do things, to connect with each other so that we can learn and grow from each other, so that we can be in each other's businesses, so that we can know how people do things, shift and shape, what mistakes they've made, what are they doing better. This whole thing in life is to connect with other people, and there's not going to be any way around it. You can't do that passively. The only way to do it is actively, and in order to do anything passively, you have to start to do it actively. So you have to be active no matter what. Even when people ask me, how did you lose 120 pounds? How did you lose so much weight? She did not do that all at one time. I didn't do it all at one time, and I didn't think about it from an all at one time perspective. I was just hungry enough, and this is where are you hungry? How hungry are you comes into place. I was hungry enough to get it done. I was hungry enough to be patient. I was hungry enough to say, okay, this meal, I'm going to make this decision, and it's going to be the gas that gets me to point B, which is my next meal. And as soon as I get that under control and I understand how to eat from meal to meal, I'll understand how to eat from day to day. And the same thing goes with other aspects of your life. If you understand how to eat from meal to meal, you'll understand how to eat from day to day, and then that'll trickle to week, and then that'll trickle to month, which trickles to year, and then you can actually start planning more effectively, you know. But so many people, they want to go from point A to point Z, and they're not at that hungry level to get from point A to point Z. They only have the skill level and the hunger level to go from point A to B. To get from point A to Z, you have to be a motherfucking beast, okay? You have to be so hungry that you're willing to do anything to get from point A to point Z. And a lot of people don't understand what that level of hunger pertains to. That level of hunger may mean you may be sleeping in your car. That level of hunger may mean you may be sleeping on a park bench. Like, people don't get it. They don't understand, because a lot of times they think that you can passively create certain things, and that the whole idea of passive income is kind of like a wheel. If you think about a wheel that spins, like a bike wheel is what I'm saying. If you think about a bike wheel, so if you're riding a bike, right? So let's say you're riding a bike and you're pedaling, you're going real fast, right? Then what happens? You hit like a downward hill, right? Or you're even going straight and you're just kind of cruising. You can take your feet off the wheel. You can take your feet off the pedal and you can just cruise. And the wheel's going to keep on spinning, right? That's passive, because you've put in so much active energy to get the shit done that once you back up and you decide, I'm going to cruise, you got shit that's making money. You got time where you can say, you know what, this cheap moment for food is going to turn into a cheap day, because it's going to spin like that. But ultimately, that wheel stops spinning by itself, and you have to jump back into pedaling again, and you have to be active again. People don't want to be active. There's no way around building the momentum and building the energy in your life to get wherever it is that you want to be without being active. So I had this discussion today with one of my friends this morning, and I kept interrupting her, and I'm like, no, 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 it's not going to happen. You cannot think your way through this one because you're in stagnant energy and you're in a stagnant mindset. For those of you that say Mercury retrograde has hit, guess what, people? Ride the motherfucking wave of Mercury retrograde and get on it. Get on that energy that it's pushing up for you, because it's creating all of this momentum and all of this energy for you, and you're just kind of watching that rainbow wave happening, just kind of like, no, 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 I don't want this to happen. You want a new life, you want something good to pop off, you know, you see everything falling away around you. That shit happened to me this year. You know, for 5 years I was caring for my great aunt, and then she started going downhill like really, really fast, and it was like, whoa, 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 what's going on? What's happening? And then right after she passed, craziness was happening in my life. And then right after that, my dog got sick. And most people, you know, for most people, they're not as connected to their pets. That's not me. My pets are my family members. So I'm in and out of vet hospitals, and I mean, to the tune of thousands of dollars. And I'm trying, and this is my first baby, okay? And I'm trying to keep, you know, my little baby, my animal alive, and it just wasn't happening, and I was so frustrated, you know, and all of these things are crumbling away. I'm freaking, you know, pulling cards on myself. I'm trying to give myself readings. I'm trying to connect. I'm praying. I'm trying to figure out what to do, anything to do to keep my sanity, because I'm trying to keep everything intact. I'm trying to keep things from falling away. I'm trying to keep everything together. But guess what? Sometimes things have to fall away. Sometimes you have to get to desperate. Sometimes you need to you need to understand you're on shaky ground and you want more solid ground. Guess what? In order to build and rebuild, you must first destroy, and you have to ask yourself, how hungry am I to ride the wave of this energy to make this shit happen? Because the energy is there. It's there. You want to make it happen, make that shit happen. One of the things you have to understand also is, are you uncomfortable? What type of discomfort is it? Is it fear-based? Are you standing around like, I don't want people to see me, I don't want people to look at me and know that shit is wrong with me, or that I don't have it all together, or that I have to ask for money? Shit, everybody has to ask for money. Russell Simmons has to ask for money. When people have charities, they have to ask for money. Their lives are asking for money. So you will have to become comfortable with the ask. You will have to learn to become comfortable with getting out of your comfort zone. And that's going to mean throwing yourself out of the comfort zone. You can watch all of the coaches that you want. You can get into thousands of dollars worth of programs to help you to take little baby steps to get to where it is that you want to be, right? You can do all of that. But if you don't get up and get active and take advantage of small activities throughout the day, those activities are your meals. See how all this connects to your health life? All of it connects. Those activities are your meals. So you take those little activities that build up throughout the course of the day, and you got to schedule those shits out. Okay, what am I doing today, and how am I doing this? Am I doing things each day that brings me just a little bit of joy? Just a little bit of joy that's going to get me to where I want to be. You need to do those things. You need to build up those activities. Those are your little meals. Those are your little meals that ultimately is going to bring you from point A to point B. Once you understand point B, you will get to point C and point D. Once you understand the flow of that and how it works for you and nobody else. You and nobody else. And once you understand that, then you'll understand how to get from point A to point G. And then from there, you can tell somebody, hey, here's how I got from point A to point G. I can tell people totally, hey, here's how I got from, 200 plus pounds or 240 or 260 plus pounds. Here's how I knocked off 80 pounds. I can tell you that like that. That ain't shit to me. I can tell you that. But then there are certain other aspects of my life where I'm like, look, the other aspects, the extra 40, 50 pounds, that was a little tricky. That's something that is really going to depend on you. It's going to depend on your health. It's going to depend on your health insurance. It's going to depend on what it is that you're intaking in your body when it comes to medicine and supplements, that part is going to be a little tricky. But you have to decide, how hungry are you to make this change? Are you only hungry enough so that it's just a meal by meal basis? Maybe you're ordering out a lot. You know, how hungry are you? Are you hungry enough to learn? Are you hungry enough to let somebody else decide that for you? So you have to decide that today. So I wanted to share this message with you guys because I had a conversation this morning with a friend and I was all fired up from it. And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? You know, what time is it? Because I don't got a lot of time here because I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm taking advantage of all this creative energy, all this extra energy I have, all of this clarity that I have been gifted with. Especially transformation is what it is. Transformation, you know, and people can see that shit a mile away. And the only way you're going to experience that transformation, you're going to experience that change, and you're going to get to where you want to be clarity-wise, so that you have a vision for your life and you can understand how to schedule it out and how to plan it and how to make it, so that you're not doing the meal by meal, the day by day, the passive waiting. You understand how to actively attack it. The only way you're going to do that is to be uncomfortable, to be in that discomfort, to face that fear, to feel it, and to just keep moving through it and to exist through it, and then to plan to be in those situations again, so that you can be comfortable with the fear, be comfortable with the ask, be active, not passive. No shit happens in passive unless the wheel had been turning for active, and then you just kind of cruising. And I had to learn that. So you have to decide, how hungry are you? There are no shortcuts in this whole game of life. There's no shortcuts. We need to interact with each other. We have to decide, how hungry are we to make a change in our life? There's no shortcuts. So that's what I want to know from you guys today. How hungry are you? Are you hungry enough to do it meal by meal? Or are you hungry enough to learn so that you will understand how to take it from meal by meal to day by day to week by week to month by month and then beyond, so that you can tell somebody else, hey, here's how you go from point A to point G or point V. Here's how you can do it, because here's how I did it. So how hungry are you? Decide that. I'll see you guys later. I have to run. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.